Hello, Pamela. Hello, hello. Hey, Beverly. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Julie. Hey, Lady One. Hey, SP. Icy. Hello, Kimmy. Thank you, Pamela. Hey, Legend. Thank you. Hello, Renee. Hey, Julie. Do you hear the drums? Hey, Shirley. Hey, Judy. Tonight is Paranormal Wednesday. Tonight is Hawaii. Tonight is the Night Marches. Have you ever heard of them? No. You're about to. Hello, Peaches. Hello, JD. Hey, X. Hey, Just. Hello, Spicy Joe. Let's start sharing the live. 5 friends, 10 friends. Share it to the FYP. Know someone that lives in the great state of Hawaii? Hello, Mia. Thank you. If you are just coming in, my name is Bryn Morgan. I'm a horror author. I'm also a teller of scary stories, paranormal stories, ghost stories, true crime, serial unalivers, urban legends, Appalachian horror, folklore, cryptids. What's your poison? We do it all here. Do you like those? Hit the follow button and the notification bell and never miss another Twisted Tales Live. And welcome. Yes, Mary. Yes. Make yourselves at home. Hello, Gracie. Hello, everyone in YouTube. Hello, John. Hello, Amy. Hello, Kimber. You can still tap to the wardrobe. Hello, Cruella. Hello, Dracul. Welcome. If you are new here, come in and introduce yourselves. We would love to meet you. This is a safe, warm, loving, welcoming environment. Very interactive. We don't just sit back and twiddle our thumbs. We talk, we laugh, we scare. Well, I scare you, and then you, well, you get the idea. Listen to the beat. Hey, Roxy. A vampire in our midst. Welcome. Thank you for the subscription, Cruella. Hello, Ginger Moore. Would you consider sharing to your FYP? 5 friends, 10 friends, 15. Let's let them know that there is a engaging, immersive storytelling experience on Twisted Tales Live on TikTok, for that matter. Let them know. Oh, thank you, Cruella. That is so sweet of you. Hello, Carly. Welcome. Thank you, Ginger. 5 minutes. Hey, Leslie Marie. Thank you all for the gifts. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ginger. Have you ever heard of the Night Marchers? Hey, Shirley. Thank you, Cruella. Judy, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. If you are just coming in and you are new here, let me know where you're from. Your Night Dweller family likes to know where you are from too. I want you to come in for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, and feel the immersive experience of storytelling. Tonight is Paranormal Wednesday, and tonight we travel to the great state paradise of Hawaii. But there is a dark side. Hello, Judy from Mississippi. Hey, you too. Oh, it does indeed, just Bethany Z. Thank you. Hello, Wolves Whisper. Hello, Rose. Thank you. Good, Melinda. Bringing it on down. Thank you for sharing, Rachel. Hello, Alicia, Indiana girl. Hello, Eric Jones. That is too funny. I love Survivor. Hello, Firefly. Hello. Oh, good, Judy. One minute. Welcome, Night Dwellers. This is the Night Realm. I am the Night Queen. And tonight, we are visiting Hawaii. What is scary about Hawaii, Night Queen? Oh, a lot. But when I started researching this beautiful state, this paradise, this tropical oasis, I found out that there is one story that haunts the people of Hawaii more than any other, and that is the Night Marchers. Who are they? They're the king of Hawaii's soldiers, protective, and will do anything to keep him safe. But first, pull your curtains nice and tight. Wrap yourself up in your warmest blanket to avoid the chills that are about to cool up your spine. And let's begin. But first, let me know in the comments, are you ready for story time? The Night Marches, a true Hawaiian hunting. Good evening, night dwellers. I am your Night Queen, and tonight we venture into the darkest corners of Hawaiian legend, where ancient warriors still march, where the living dare not look, and where the boundaries between worlds grow thin. Tonight, we speak of the night marches in reverence, in awe, in fear. The night marches, the Huaka'ipo soldiers. When you think of Hawaii, you picture the bluest water, the greenest mountains. But that's not all. In the volcanic island of Hawaii, where the fire meets the ocean, and legends are born from the very earth itself, there exists a phenomenon so terrifying that locals still whisper about it in hushed tones. These are not mere ghost stories, night dwellers. These are documented encounters with the spirit of ancient Hawaiian warriors who continue their eternal patrol through the islands they once protected. So dim your lights, settle into the shadows, and prepare to enter a realm where the dead refuse to rest. Chapter 1. The Ancient Warriors Awaken. What drives the dead to march eternally through paradise? The year was 1778, when Captain James Cook first set foot on Hawaiian shores. But the night marchers had been walking these islands for centuries before any European eyes witnessed the terrifying procession. In the ancient Hawaiian tradition, these were the Huaka'ipo, the spirit ranks of dead warriors, chiefs, and guardians who continue their sacred duty even in death. Our first encounter is with Dr. Martha Beckwith, an and her extensive documentation of Hawaiian folklore recorded that these special armies were most commonly the spirits of ali'i, chiefs, and their warrior escorts, forever bound to protect the sacred places of their people. The warriors march in formation. Listen. Can you hear the drums? Carrying traditional weapons, spears, war clubs, and the haunting sound of drums that echo through the volcanic valleys. I heard them first, whispered Keone Nakamura, a construction worker who encountered the marchers near Nu'unu'upali in 1995. I was working on the highway. It was growing dark. I started to hear drums. It wasn't like high school drums though, not like in a band. At first it was soft, but then it picked up speed. They started so soft it was like a heartbeat in the distance. But then they grew louder, and I knew that what I had heard from my grandparents and my parents for years were true. It was the Hawaiʻi-Po, the warriors, the night watchers, the night marchers. I knew I had to get away. The ancient Hawaiians understood that these were not malevolent spirits, but guardians who, its duty had transcended death. They march along the ancient paths, the ala hali, that crisscross the islands, following routes that connected sacred sites, burial grounds, and places of power. These paths, many now covered by modern development, still pulse with supernatural energy. The darkness thickens, my dark disciples, as we follow their ancient route. Chapter 2, The Sacred Paths of Power. Can you hear them? The ancient drums calling from paths lost to time. The night marchers follow specific routes that hold deep spiritual significance in Hawaiian culture. These paths, known as ala hali, connect heiau, temples, burial sites, and places where great battles were fought. The most documented sightings occur along these ancient highways of the dead. On the island of Oahu, the Nu'unu'upali stands as one of the most active locations. This wind-swept cliff where King Kamehameha I drove enemy warriors to their deaths in 1795 into the sea, serves as a supernatural highway, if you will. Park rangers, visitors have reported seeing torch-lit processions moving along the clifftop. They will imagine night dwellers, a cliff filled with torch-lit processions. It gives me chills. Accompanied by the sound of war chants that seem to emerge from the very stones. Encounter Maria Santos. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's called the pork incident at Pali Highway. It's real. Every local knows you don't transport pork over that road at night. Too many people have had their cars break down. Seen the lights on the cliff. Heard the drums. The spirits don't like it. They see it as disrespectful to their sacred space. I've looked at the cliffs. I've seen it myself. It's true. The Big Islands. Kilauea volcano presents another focal point for Marcha activity. Here, the spirits are said to be particularly active during volcanic eruptions, as if the Earth's fire awakens their ancient power. Volcanologist Dr. Sarah Kim documented several encounters during her nighttime research expeditions. I'll tell you, I've seen things that can't be explained by geology, that cannot be explained by science. I've seen figures moving in perfect formation across the lava fields, completely unaffected by the heat. Do you know how hot lava fields are? It would kill any living person. You would go up in flames. Some of the locals say that if you look closely, these figures that are moving in perfect transformation across these lava fields, they claim that they're floating. The path ahead grows darker, night grows, and something stirs in the shadows. Chapter 3. The Sound of Ancient Drums. What happens when the living interrupt the march of the dead? It's not good. I can tell you that. The first warning of an approaching night marcher procession is always the same. The distant sound of drums. Can you hear them? These aren't the gentle rhythms of a peaceful ceremony, but the war drums of ancient battles, beaten with supernatural intensity that seems to emanate from the earth itself. In 1987, photographer David Chin was camping near Halawa Valley on Molokai when he experienced what he described as the most terrifying night of his life. His journal entry, later published in the Honolulu Star Advisor, provides chilling detail. 11:47 p.m. The drums started. At first I thought it was just kids playing around, but the sound was too deep, too rhythmic. It echoed off the valley walls like nothing I'd ever heard. 12:15 a.m. Now it's not just drums. I can see lights now. Not flashlights or torches, but something else. They move in perfect formation. It's dozens of them. I'm hiding in my tent, but I can't shake the feeling that they know I'm here. What an interesting night so far. Shall we continue? December 23rd a.m. They're passing right by my campsite. I can hear chanting now, in a language I've never heard before. These voices are so deep, so powerful. I want to look, but every instinct tells me to stay hidden. My grandmother always said, never to look at the night marchers. Never. Traditional Hawaiian protocol dictates specific behaviors when encountering the marchers. Make sure you listen closely. Take notes. If you hear the drums, you must immediately lie face down on the ground. Why? To avoid eye contact. And remain perfectly still until the procession passes. If you don't, well, looking directly at the marchers is said to invite death or madness. Would you rather be unalived or go insane? I wouldn't look if I were you. His last entry. The drums grow louder and the temperature drops as ancient warriors draw near. I want to look. It's as if the drums are calling me to look. But I know what my grandparents and my parents said. I will not do it. Well, he was never seen again. Chapter 4. The Witness at Diamond Head. What price does curiosity exact from those who dare to watch? Some people just won't heed the warning. Diamond Head. That iconic volcanic crater overlooking Waikiki harbors one of the most documented and disturbing night watcher encounters in Hawaiian history. The incident occurred on September 1991 and involved security guard Thomas Nakamura, whose detailed account was recorded by the Hawaiian Paranormal Research Society. Thomas was working the night shift at a construction site near the crater when the familiar sound of drums began echoing Despite his grandmother's warnings about the marches, all the old people, the ones with wisdom, know about the night marches. But despite his grandmother's warnings about them, his curiosity overcame caution, and he decided to investigate. His words, not mine. I climbed up to the rim. Thomas recalled, his voice still shaking years later. I could see them clearly. Hundreds of warriors in traditional dress, carrying spears and clubs. They were marching in perfect formation around the crater floor. The torches they carried weren't normal fire either. They glowed with this cold blue light that hurt to look at it. I felt as if I would go blind if I continued to stare. But Thomas made a fatal mistake. He decided he couldn't see well enough. So what did he do? He stood up for a better view. And the lead warrior, a massive figure with intricate tattoos covered his body, turned and looked directly at him. The warrior's eyes, Thomas reported, were not the eyes of the living, but empty sockets filled with starlight. I would like to see that myself. Empty sockets full of starlight. Would you? He pointed his spear at me. Thomas continued. Then I felt this crushing weight on my chest. I couldn't breathe, and the drums got louder and louder until I thought my head would explode. And then everything went black. Thomas was found unconscious at the crater's edge the next morning. When he awoke, his hair had turned completely white, and he was unable to speak for 3 days. Even now, decades later, he suffers from nightmares where he hears the drums and sees those terrible star-filled eyes. The price of witnessing the Forbidden March goes even steeper. Chapter 5. The Burial Ground Disturbance. What happens when the modern world disturbs the ancient dead? In 1994, construction of a new shopping center on the north shore of Oahu came to a horrifying halt when workers uncovered an ancient Hawaiian burial ground. What followed was one of the most intense periods of night march activity ever documented. As if the disturbance had awakened something that had been sleeping for centuries. Construction foreman Jake Morrison described the first incident. We were doing night work to stay on schedule. We had a deadline. And I remember I was drinking water and I heard drums. At first we thought it was just protesters to try to stop the construction. There were hundreds of people who did not want us to build there. And then we saw them. I swear to God, I've never seen anything as terrifying as what I saw. I'm a smart man. I am not rash. I do not make rash decisions. I don't believe in spirits and hauntings and all that mumbo jumbo crap. But I will tell you now, I'll change the word. I didn't believe. Now I do. As do all the guys that are working with me. Dozens of warriors emerging from the ground itself, rising up from where we'd been digging. I remember there was this one guy. His name was Juan. He said, guys, get down on the ground, lay down, face down, do not look at them. Some fled. I did what he said. I laid flat on the ground. I can still smell the dirt up my nostrils. The workers fled the area, but the marchers' presence intensified over the following weeks. Security cameras captured unexplained lights moving in formation across the construction site. They had dug up something that they should have left alone. Equipment began to mysteriously malfunction, and 3 workers suffered what doctors could only describe as inexplicable seizures, after claiming to see glowing figures in their peripheral vision. Culture practitioner Auntie Leilani Kaheli was called in to assess the situation. Her words still send chills through those who hear them. Do you know what you've done? The ancestors are angry. You disturbed their rest, broken their sacred space. They won't stop marching until things are made right. And indeed, the construction was eventually halted, and the site was properly blessed and restored. But the damage was done. Local residents reported continued sightings of the marchers for months afterward, as if the spirits were ensuring their message was understood. The earth itself remembers, and the dead do not forget easily. Let's take a 5-minute intermission, and when we come back, we will tell the second half of the night marches. Stay tuned. Do you want to see the gown? Tonight, of course, is black. It is sequined. It gives off the Morticia vibe, don't you think? It's got these long bell sleeves. Absolutely lovely. A lovely neckline. Black. It is long to the floor. You cannot see it. You'll be able to see it in my new space, but it sweeps the floor like a train. Do you like it? So let's have a little bit of interaction while everybody is getting back in their seat. I will continue this story at 100K. We must tap, tap, tap. And do you know why? Because it activates the TikTok algorithm who shoots this out to people that are not aware that there is a interactive storytelling experience. So let's start tapping. 100K, the second part is on the way. What is everyone thinking about the night marches? You know, I've almost said night dwellers like 3 or 4 times throughout the stories so far, because it's so similar to what you are. Thank you, AJ Cab. Thank you, thank you. If you are just coming in and you are brand new here, introduce yourselves. I want to meet you. Or perhaps you are one of those silent night dwellers. You know the type. You just stay in the shadows. Your queen has summoned you. I want to meet you. Hey, Spitfire. Hey, Cindy Minnie. Well, the good news is, Cindy Minnie, that YouTube is back up and running and videos are being recorded. Hey, Kiddo at Heart. Hey, Taquoma. How are you, darling? I am good, Sandra Jefferson. How are you? So what do you think of them so far? Kneeling on the, having to lay on the ground face down? Had you heard of the night marches before? I haven't, but I have now. Let me see if I can find some. I know that our darling Julie she made a video today that had some really good art, good content. And let me see if I can find it. Find some art to tell with the story. It is very well known there. This is one depiction of them. Very physically fit. Here is camera footage that was captured of them on a night march. This supposedly was with a special camera. Oh, I love this one. So this is at the cliffs, at the site. And you know when I was telling you that they said they would see glowing? Oh yeah. Look at that. Here is a actual local that dressed up as what he saw in a as what he saw. He said that it was wearing a skeleton head, and his arms and chest were covered in tattoos, very intricate tattoos. This is another guy who said that he had an encounter. This one is actually on TikTok. Pretty creepy, I do believe. 100K. We need to reach 100K before the next half of the story. I thank you for all the likes so far, but they do seem very low tonight. But we can change that. We can rally together and get these likes a lot higher. So please make sure that you tap, tap, tap. It is creepy, isn't it? Hello, CE Cole Universe. How are you? Hello, Blazing Phoenix. Kelly, tonight's story is about the night marches of Hawaii. Here is, I love this art. This is the king. And this is the night watchers behind him, the Hawakipo. And this is the king. Love it. Love, love, love it. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for that. I noticed that it was incredibly low. I was like, what in the world? It is very nice artwork. We are at 89, just a little bit further to go. Here is a great picture. You can kind of see the tattoo art. Of course, this is without the mask. Hey, Jester. Hey, Kimmy. Hey, Nana Sherry. Happy you're here. We're at 102K. Great job, everyone. I tell you, when I ask my night dwellers to come through, they do it. Thank you so much. Sandra, I normally start around 8:20. That is usually the time for starting. All right, let's get back into the second part of the Night Marches of Hawaii. But first, we have new people that have came in late, so we need to get them into story mode, don't we? If you're just coming in, welcome. Lower your lights. Lock your doors. Light a candle for ambiance or to chase away the shadows. Pull your curtains nice and tight. Wrap yourself up in your warmest blanket to avoid the chills that are about to crawl up your spine. And let's begin. Chapter 6, The Child's Encounter. What innocent eyes witness that adult minds cannot comprehend? Not all encounters with the Night Marchers end in terror, Night Dwellers. Sometimes the most profound experiences come through the eyes of children, whose innocence seems to offer them a different kind of protection. A soft side to the night marches? Indeed. Such was the case with 8-year-old Kiala Pua, whose encounter in 1998 remains one of the most documented interactions with the marchers. Kila was staying with her grandmother on the island of Maui when she wandered out of the house one night, drawn by what she later described as beautiful singing. Her grandmother, Tutu Rose, found her sitting calmly on the front steps, apparently conversing with invisible companions. Kila was speaking in fluent Hawaiian. Tutu Rose reported, "My granddaughter was speaking a language I never heard her speak before. She didn't even know the language. She was talking to someone, asking questions, and she was even nodding her head like she was getting answers. When I asked her who she was talking to, she just pointed to the road and said, 'The warriors are going home now.'" What makes this encounter particularly significant is that Kiala's conversation was recorded by her grandmother, who had grabbed her phone thinking that her granddaughter was sleepwalking. The recording reveals the child speaking in ancient Hawaiian dialect, using words and phrases that linguists later confirmed were from pre-contact times. How? Dr. James Kihau, a Hawaiian language expert, analyzed the recording, and these were his findings. This child was using grammatical structures and vocabulary that hasn't been spoken in over 200 years. He went on to say, there is no way that she could have learned this language through normal means. It's a language of the past. When asked about the experience years later, Kiala's memories remain vivid. They weren't scary at all to me. They were just sad. They had these beautiful lights, and they were beating these drums. I could hear them, but Nani couldn't. They said that they missed their families, their homes. They told me they had to keep walking until all the sacred places were safe again. Even in darkness, night dwellers, sometimes the spirits show mercy to the innocent. Chapter 7. The photographer's last shot. What final image captures the boundary between worlds? Professional photographer Michael Tanaka thought he was documenting Hawaiian culture sites when he set out for the remote valleys of Kauai in March 2001. What he captured on film that night would become some of the most compelling photographic evidence the night marchers had ever recorded. And it would cost him his sanity. One moment. Tanaka was using high-speed film and infrared equipment to photograph ancient heiau sites when he noticed an unusual electromagnetic interference with his equipment. The camera kept malfunctioning. He wrote in his journal, "The light meter was going crazy, off the chain, jumping from total darkness to blazing light with no apparent source." As he adjusted his equipment, the drumming began. This time, however, Tanaka made a decision that would haunt him forever. He began photographing the approaching procession. I knew as soon as I did it that I had made a mistake. I got maybe 12 shots before something went wrong. He later told investigators, "I could see them clearly through the viewfinder, and what I saw was terrible. Warriors in traditional dress, carrying torches and weapons. They were wearing skeleton masks with feathers. Their eyes were empty, just shots of white light. Their faces were painted for war. And they moved with such purpose, such power. I thought I was documenting history." I turned, mesmerized. I could not take my eyes off of them. The photographs, when they were developed, revealed more than just history. When I looked at them, they showed translucent figures that were moving in perfect formation. But I couldn't believe my eyes because their feet didn't touch the ground. They were floating. Their faces were clearly visible, but somehow wrong. I could even see the intricate detailing of the green tattooing on their chest, their arms. Features that seemed to shift and change between shots. Eyes that reflected the camera flash with an otherworldly luminescence. But it was the final photograph, found 3 days later, that sealed Tanaka's fate. In it, the lead warrior had turned directly to the camera. His hand raised as to ward off the photographer. The warrior's mouth is open in what appears to be a war cry. But the expression on his face is one of terrible recognition, as if he knows exactly what the camera represents. Tanaka was found 3 days later, catatonic, clutching his camera. When he finally spoke, his words were chilling. They didn't want to be captured. They said that the pictures would trap them between worlds. Now they're trapped in my dreams, marching through my mind forever. And Tanaka, his vision has never been the same. Some images are too terrible for the living world to contain. So what do you think so far, Night Dwellers? Do you think that the Night Marchers are real? Or do you think that it's just a figment of their imagination? There's far too many to be that, Night Dwellers. I believe that the Night Marchers are real. But let me know what you think in the comments. Chapter 8. The Highway Encounter. What happens when ancient paths collide with modern roads? The Pali Highway on Oahu has earned its reputation as one of the most haunted stretches of road in America. But few incidents compared to what happened to the Kawamoto family on Halloween night, 1999. Their encounter demonstrates how the Night Marchers' ancient routes continue to intersect with the modern world, often with the most terrifying of consequences. The Kawamoto family, parents Robert and Linda, with their teenage daughter Amy, were driving home from a Halloween party when their car broke down near the Pali Lookout. As Robert attempted to restart the engine, Linda noticed something moving along the cliff top. So did Amy. This is their encounter. So, my husband was trying to restart the engine. It was a new car. We've never had any issue with this car. I just remember he was trying to crank it, and I looked toward the cliffs. From what it looked like, it was just a procession. I thought maybe it was just some locals in the area that were saying goodbye. to a loved one who had passed. And I saw those lights moving. And then Amy sat up straighter in the back seat. Mom, do you hear that? Hear what? Robert asked, and I told him to concentrate. She said, it sounds like drums. Can you hear it? I listened, and I heard them too. Robert said that it was probably just a group of hikers with flashlights, but I knew that it wasn't. It was not flashlights. Flashlights don't move like that. These lights were too bright, too coordinated, and they moved in perfect formation. They left the cliff. They started down the side of the hill. It was so many of them. I would have to say between 80 to 100. Perfect formation. And there was that sound. Drums. Chanting. Amy wrapped her arms around my neck and she told me she was scared. I was too. The sound was the familiar drumming, but this time it seemed to come from multiple directions at once. From the north, the south, the east, the west. And unbeknownst to me, my daughter Amy had a camcorder in the back seat. We had bought her for Christmas. She was recording it. I watched in horror as these lights approached us. The drums grew louder. The video shows the family's increasingly panicked attempts to start the car as the drumming intensifies. Through the windshield, lights can be seen moving along the cliff face. Dozens of them, arranged in military formation. The audio picks up what sounds like chanting in Hawaiian, growing louder as the lights approach. I remember Robert turned around. He said something's attracting them. And then we saw Amy's camcorder. Dad, they're coming toward us. They're coming down the cliff. Amy, put your camcorder down. Don't record them. The most chilling moment comes when the procession reached the highway. The video shows the light passing directly through the family's car, and the temperature inside the car drops dramatically. The drumming reaches a crescendo and then silence. The camcorder destroyed. The car started immediately afterward, but the family was forever changed. Amy's hair turned partially white, and she began having prophetic dreams about accidents on the Pali Highway. Robert developed a severe anxiety disorder, and Linda reported seeing shadow figures in her peripheral vision for months afterward. The ancient past recognized no boundaries, and the modern world offers no protection. Chapter 9. The Scientist Investigation. What happens when rational minds confront the supernatural? Dr. Eleanor Masuda, a cultural anthropologist from the University of Hawaii, arrived in 2003 with scientific skepticism and the state-of-the-art equipment, determined to debunk the Night Marcher phenomenon. Her 3-month investigation would challenge everything she believed about the nature of reality. Dr. Masuda set up monitoring stations at known Marcher sites, equipped with infrared cameras, electromagnetic field detectors, and audio recording equipment. Her initial reports were dismissive. The so-called supernatural phenomena can be explained by natural causes. This is nothing more than wind patterns, geological activity, and the power of suggestion. Nothing more. The Night Marchers are not real. But as her investigation progressed, and her aides began to leave her side, because she said, "There's nothing here," the equipment began registering anomalies that couldn't be explained by conventional science. Temperature drops of 30 degrees in localized areas, electromagnetic spikes that followed no known patterns, and audio recordings that captured sounds no human throat could produce. Night 47 of the investigation. Dr. Masuda recorded in her audio log, her voice noticeably shaken. Okay, so the equipment is detecting movement across all stations simultaneously. The infrared cameras are showing heat signatures, moving information, but there's nothing visible to the naked eye. The electromagnetic readings are off the charts. Wait, what is that? Sounds like drums. What is that? Her final report, submitted to the university, but never published, concluded with a statement that ended her academic career. I can no longer maintain scientific objectivity regarding the Night Marcher phenomenon. These entities exist in a way that challenges our understanding of consciousness, death, and the nature of reality itself. Dr. Masuda left Hawaii shortly after submitting her report. She now works as a librarian in Oregon and absolutely refuses to discuss her research. Why? Did she see something? Her equipment remains locked in a university storage facility with a note attached. Do not use. Potentially dangerous to the operator. Even science must bow before the mystery of the eternal march. One more encounter for you. From Lily Polko, a local who had moved away and came back to visit her grandmother. My grandmother wasn't doing well. Her and I had always had a closeness about us. It was as if we were on the same wavelength. I could tell when she was not doing well. She could tell when I wasn't doing well. She had the most beautiful house. It was right on the cliffs, overlooking the sea. I would fall asleep to the waves crashing against the rocks. I would leave my window open. Grandma was muttering some kind of nonsense, saying that she was hearing drums and chants and soldiers coming up in her yard. I told her, Grandma, there's no such thing. She said, I told you the story of the night marchers years ago when you were little. Don't you remember them? Or has modern life taken those memories away? Perhaps. But on this night, I remembered everything she told me. I couldn't sleep. I looked in the distance and I saw these orbs of light. Yellow, white. I ran inside and I grabbed myself. I went back out on the porch. I couldn't get a good view. So I walked out in the yard. The night was beautiful. The breeze, the waves, the stars. I zoomed in on these lights, these orbs. And as I looked, they were coming closer. And then I heard these drums. These drums, it sounded like a cry for war. I heard these war chants in a language that I've never heard before. They kept getting closer and closer and closer. Next thing I know, I hear my grandma. Lily, get down on the ground, face down. Do not look at them. I was entranced. I couldn't look away. They were bright and beautiful and horrible, and then my grandmother ran down the steps and she fell on top of me. We both hit the ground hard. The drums were loud now. She hissed, "Put your phone away. Do not look at them." I did as she said. They passed over us. When they were gone, and we saw them moving away in the distance, I asked my grandmother, why did I have to put my face to the dirt? She said, granddaughter, royalty just passed over us. I started researching everything that she said, and it's true what she said. The only ones that are able to look at them and live and survive are royalty from those tribes of long ago. Then my grandmother told me that I was a descendant of the royal line, and that was why I escaped unscathed. Chapter 10, The Eternal Procession. Tell me, night dwellers, will the night marchers ever find their final rest? As our journey through the realm of the night marchers draws to a close, we must face the ultimate question. What drives these ancient warriors to continue their eternal patrol? The answers lie in the sacred duty that binds them to the islands that they loved in life and guard fiercely in death. The night marchers are not merely ghosts reliving past glories. No, night dwellers, they are protectors, ensuring that the sacred sites of Hawaii remain respected and undisturbed. Every documented encounter suggests that they appear when the guardianship is needed most, when there is a threat on the horizon. Whether to warn the living away from dangerous areas or to express their displeasure at the discretion and the desecration of holy ground. Native Hawaiian spiritual advisor Kahu Jonathan Osorio explains, the marchers are our ancestors, our protectors, and we should revere and respect them at all cost. They walk the ancient paths because those paths still matter. The sacred sites they guard are not just archaeological curiosities. They are living connections to our cultural soul. Recent sightings continue to follow the same patterns established centuries ago. The marchers appear along the Ala Hali, accompanied by drums and chanting. They manifest most strongly during times of cultural stress or environmental threat, and they remain as terrifying and magnificent as ever. In 2019, during the protest over the 30-meter telescope on Mauna Kea, numerous witnesses reported seeing the marchers standing guard on the sacred mountain. Isn't that lovely? protecting their home, just like they've always been. They were here to protect the mountain. It wasn't scary as we looked upon them, it was empowering. Our ancestors were standing with us. The Night Marchers remind us that death is not an ending, but a transition of duty. They serve as a bridge between the ancient world and the modern one, ensuring that the spiritual heart of Hawaii continues to beat despite the changes that time has brought to the islands. So the next time you find yourself on a Hawaiian island as night falls, remember the ancient paths that crisscross the land beneath your feet. Listen for the distant sound of drums. And if you hear them, show respect. Lie down. Close your eyes and let the eternal guardians pass without disruption. For the Night Marchers will continue their vigil as long as the islands themselves endure. Walking the sacred paths in an endless procession of duty, honor, and eternal love for the land that they can never truly leave. The march continues, and somewhere the drums still beat. And so, my dear night dwellers, we return from the volcanic shores of Hawaii to the shadows of our night realm. The Night Marchers continue their eternal patrol, guardians of the sacred, protectors of the ancient ways. Their drums still echo across the Pacific, a reminder that some duties transcend even death itself. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, remember that the boundaries between worlds are thinner than we imagine. The dead do not always rest. And sometimes they march. May I remind you that the shadows hold more than mere absence of light. They hold the memories of the eternal marchers, forever walking the paths between worlds. In halls of shadows where whispers flee, I weave the tales that terrify thee. Your Night Queen reigns in darkness free, where ancient marchers eternally keep their vigil through the night, beyond all mortal earthly sight. I am the voice that speaks of dread the guardian of fears unsaid, the thrill that makes your spirit flee, the terror that belongs to me. In every shadow, every plea, I dance through dreams that bend the knee. The night marchers know my decree, for I too walk eternally on paths between the worlds that be, where reality and nightmares spree. Your dreams become my darkest esprit, for in the darkest corridors of your nightmares, you belong. To me. You do. Pleasant dreams. Sleep well, night dwellers.